Hey guys, this is lehrbehr here for the MTG noob after a bit of a hiatus. So you guys may notice that a pick has already been done. I'm actually going back over this to record this again because the audio got messed up the first time. You can see me trying to find it out. I found out later that it was a little bit messed up. So I'm going to re-go over this. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the first pack because I was having problems with my audio. The first pack consisted of a Zathrid Gorgon, Flinthoof Boar, Pacifism, which I felt like was the best card in the pack, which is why I took it, an Essence Scatter, Bloodhunter Bat, a couple of decent green cards, but other than that, I did not feel like anything else was better than the Pacifism. In that last pack, I took the Sentinel Spider over the Turnslag, which was really the only other pick. In the next pack, I'm thinking that the two best cards in this pack are Guardians, Titanic Growth, at least for us. Guardians of Akrasa, Titanic Growth. The best card in the pack is probably the Duty Bound Dead, but I don't want to jump out of one of our two colors already, and I think right now I'm probably saying that Guardians of Akrasa and Titanic Growth are in relatively similar power levels, but I like the trick a bit better, so I took the Titanic Growth. In the next pack, there's a Bladetusk Boar, which is probably the strongest card in the pack. And then three decent green cards with Spike Baloth, Deadly Recluse, and Yavis Force Mage. So here, I'm thinking that between those three cards, green cards, which is what I'm going to take, Deadly Recluse and Yavis Force Mage are the two best. I think Deadly Recluse is actually better, but in a green-white deck, I was thinking I like Force Mage because it's a little bit more aggressive, whereas Deadly Recluse is a bit more defensive. I tend to build more aggro type decks, so here I was actually leaning towards the Force Mage, even though Deadly Recluse is probably the better pick in a bubble. In the next pack, I see a Beast Tracker, which is the only card for us, and I see a bunch of red cards. So here, there's also a Fairy Invaders, but I don't think I really want to take that, also because we've seen a Turnslag and a Bladetusk Boar. I'm thinking the red might be slightly open. Right now I'm really thinking between whether I want to take the Mog Flunkies or do I want to stay consistent and take the Beast Tracker. We haven't seen much white in this pack as of right now, so I'm thinking about actually switching colors and taking the Mog Flunkies. We opened up a Flinthoof Boar also in our first pack, so that means that we also have the possibility to wheel that. In the next pack, there's a Captain's Call, which is alright, or a Ring of Colonia, and it definitely looks like we're going green, so I took the Ring there. In the next pack, there's a Primadox, a Timberpack Wolf, and a Farseek. I do like Timberpack Wolf if you can get 3 or more of them. 2 or more is kind of, they're just bears, unless you get lucky. Farseek, it doesn't look like we're going to need to splash necessarily yet, so I don't like it that much. I'd rather pick up an Arbor Elf if I could. And here I'm really thinking, I don't really need the Farseek. So do I want to take the Timberpack Wolf and hope to pick up a couple more, or do I want to take the Primadox? I was thinking that in red-green, you really want to hit your 2 and 3 drops want to be 3/3s. You want to hit Centaur Coursers and Mog Flunkies, Flinthoof Boars if you get them. So I felt like the 4-mana 4/4 was probably better. In any case, in the next pack, the pick was really between Goblin Battle Jester or Spike Baloth. I took the Spike Baloth just cause. In the next pack, which is our pack, we get back 4 really good green cards. The Flinthoof Boar also wheels, so this is something that I like to do in M13 drafts, but if you see a Flinthoof Boar or one of the other dual colored creatures wheel the table, that means that most likely no one on your table is going one of those color combinations. So it's pretty safe to move into that color combination if you see one of those things. So that's what I was thinking at that point. The Flinthoof Boar wheeled out of a pack that was decent, so that probably means red-green is open. The color combination red-green is open. In the next pack, the pick is really between the Force Mage or the Reckless Brute. With the Mog Flunkies, Reckless Brute is pretty good, but I feel like I can get those late anyway, so I take a second Force Mage to pair up with my Primadox. And then with the rest of these picks, I really just fill out what's left. it looks right now, so I also am saying at this point that we don't need to go red. Right now we only have Mog Flunkies and Flint Hook 4, but if we open up a white bomb, then we would have the white bomb and a removal spell and pacifism. So we're definitely still open to playing white. We're definitely main green. This is why I started showing the white. But we're definitely main green, but our second color is still up in the air, which is something that would become a bit of a contentious point for me as the draft went on, because I was kind of unsure of which way I want to go. In any case, we just wait for the next pack. And we open it up and we see exactly what I was afraid of. So, Tower Edification is the strongest card in the pack. Cards for us are either the Mog Flunkies or the Sarah Angel. There's also like an Essence Drain and a Crimson Muck Wader, but those are off color. So right here I'm thinking Mog Flunkies would be the pick if we're staying in red-green, but Sarah Angel is pretty much a bomb, and we get to pair it with the pacifism. Also, I was thinking that since we didn't see much white in the last pack, we would probably see a decent amount of white in this pack. So I was hoping that white would flow in this pack and we could jump into white-green. So I took the Sarah Angel there. In the next pack, my hopes were sort of answered in the fact that I got to pick between a Aven Squire and an Attendant Knight. I'm really unsure about which one of these is stronger. It really depends on the deck that you're playing. I think that in white-green you really want big dudes, not like a lot of dudes that Attendant Knight gives you. Attendant Knight's a lot better in white-red. Exalted because it has first strike. So here I took the Aven Squires to make your big dudes bigger, like pairing that up with the Centaur Courser, or just like letting it fly as a 2-2 is pretty solid. So here I actually took the Aven Squire. I think that's probably the correct pick, but I'm a little unsure about that. In the next pack, we see a decent amount of good blue with Fairy Invaders and Essence Scatter. The only real pick for us in any of our colors, oh, and I opened up Skype, but the only good card in any of our colors of the three of them is Blade Tuskboar. So I actually end up taking the Blade Tuskboar from this pack. This is me sort of like hovering between two colors. I mean, even if we were, there's no good green card for us. And in terms of white, there's only really Glorious Charge, which is not something that I really want to take, so I end up taking the Blade Tuskboar. In the next pack, there's a Sentinel Spider, a Trench Slag, which are the two best cards in the pack for us. Here, if I were definitely going green or red, I probably would have taken the Trench Slag because I have 9 creatures, and I want removal spells. But since I'm not sure whether I'm going red or not, or if I'm going white, I know I'm definitely going green. I take the Sentinel Spider because it's definitely a very solid creature, and having, like, half a Sarah Angel, I guess, doesn't have flying but has reach, so it's definitely really solid. Sentinel Spiders are very good. At this point we're also very creature heavy. In the next pack, there is a bunch of decent white. The two strongest cards for us are either the Prized Elephant or the Trading Post. So here, as much as I think Trading Post is like definitely a decent card, I think the power level of Prized Elephant is just better. So I take the Prized Elephant because right now we're definitely still not even in red. We have Mog Flunkies, Flint Hook 4, Flint Hook 4 and Blade Tuskboar, but I think our white is definitely stronger. In the next pack, as much as I'd like the Elvish Visionary to pair with our Primodox or the Blade Tuskboar, I think the Centaur Courser is the pretty obvious pick. Definitely such a solid green card. If you're playing green, you definitely want a couple of them because they really do dominate the early game for green. And the next pack, once again, just taking the Centaur Courser is definitely the right pick. As much as I think Farseek might help us if we were going to splash the pacifism or something, I think that, Centaur Courser is definitely just the right pick for us. So I ended up snatching that up. Just waiting for the next pack. At this point we're playing 14 creatures, so I really want to fill out as many spells as possible. We're probably not going to end up playing those Spike Balos, at least one, maybe one. Probably don't want to be playing 2, because it looks like our forward drop is going to be a little bit on the heavier side since we're still going into pack 3. But in any case, in the next pack there's another Primadox, a Goblin Arsonist. Battleflight Eagle I don't like that much. I think it really comes down to the Primadox or the Goblin Arsonist, but at this point I'm looking more white than red. So I think I actually take the Primadox here. Although Primadox in multiples can be bad. It's definitely a solid 4-mana 4/4 that can sometimes net you a very silly card advantage if you can pick up an Elvish Visionary. So I think here I take the Primadox, which I do. With the next pick, I just take a enchantment removal, because the next pack the pick is between Ring of Thune or Show of Valor. Even if I'm playing white, I actually only have 3 white creatures, so Ring of Thune is not going to be very good in my deck. I actually end up taking the Show of Valor, because it's a semi-pump spell. I mean, it is a pump spell, so it's not as good as Titanic Row. So I end up taking the Show of Valor here. The next pack is not really much. We do get a late Goblin Arsonist, which is very nice for us, but other than that, there's not really very much. And I don't really think we get much else in terms of the rest of our picks. In any case, so even with that last pack, us trying to go white, we still are not really definitely cemented in white. We definitely have some solid cards with Prized Elephant, Star Angel, Pacifism, Avensquire, but our red is looking decent enough, and I was thinking that if we open a red bomb, we could definitely still switch back into red, which is exactly what happens to us. So we open Krenko, and this pack is very strong. I think without it, if there was not a Krenko here, we would probably end up taking probably Healer of the Pride. Either that or Attendant Knight, but probably Healer because that card is very good. In any case, at this point I'm thinking, okay, Krenko is definitely good enough reason to go into red for me, so I'm going to snatch up this Krenko and just run with it. As much as I would love that Flinthoof 4, you know, Krenko's is way too good. Also, you guys remember the first pack we got that Flinthoof 4 back. So I was also thinking at that point that I might be able to actually wield that Flinthoof 4 because no one might be going red-green, and that's a decent pack. In the next pack, Centaur Courser is there, which is the best green card in the pack. There's a Furnace Whelp, but I think Volcanic Geyser is the easy pick there. Nothing really much to think about. We're just waiting on the next pack, which I think is a juicy one if I remember correctly. Indeed it is. So as much as I would love the Searing Spear in this case, I think that I just had to take the Silk Lash Spider because that card is a bomb. It does a lot of work against flyers, destroys white, blue, so I just had to take that there. In the next pack, there's a Krenko's Command, which is definitely good with Krenko, but I think I have to take the Beast Tracker since we did just get a Silk Lash Spider, and getting a card that searches up one of your bombs is definitely really solid. We also have two Sentinel Spiders that we can also search up. So even if we have the Sentinel Spider the Silk Lash Spider in hand, the Tracker is not a dead card. At this point, I'm pointing at the Goblin Arsonist because I'm saying I definitely want another 2 or 1 drop. Another Goblin Arsonist would be nice, and I would also like another Flinthoof 4, Mod Flunkies, or something like that because, you know, red-green is a very aggressive type deck. In the next pack, there's a Dragon Hatchling, which is not great, Kitesail, which is alright, and a Naturalize. At this point, I don't think I had a Naturalize effect. So I was actually thinking, okay, I'm actually going to take the Naturalize for the sideboard, because I definitely want that, whereas Kitesail, I'm not even sure if I'm going to play. In the next pack, there is an Arbor Elf, Reckless Brute, which I don't think I'm going to take because we have enough 3-drops, so I actually take the Arbor Elf there to serve as some decent acceleration. Still just waiting on the next pack, hoping that we can wield that Flint with a 4, which would be really nice for us, but our deck is looking pretty solid so far. In the next pack, there are 2 good black cards with Giant Scorpion and Dustmantle Prowler. Dustmantle Prowler has actually gone lower and lower on my list of favorability as I've played more M13. It's not that great. It's definitely solid, I'll definitely play it, but it's not as amazing as I thought it was to begin with. As much as I like the Hunt Beast, I think I gotta take the 2-drop there in Krenko's command. It also works well with Krenko himself. In the next pack, we already have a Naturalize, so I'm not going to take the second one, and I hate Dark Favor with a passion when I lose to it, so I end up taking that. In our pack, we get back 5 green cards, which is absolutely amazing, and we do wield a Flint Hoof 4, which is absolutely sick for us because it's a very solid 2-drop that pairs very well with Moth Monkeys. So we end up just snatching that up here. I definitely think that was the right pick. In the next pack, there's another Yavis Force Mage, but since we already have 2 Flint Hoof 4s, I don't feel like playing a Reckless Brute, especially because we only have 1 Moth Monkey, so I take a 3rd Force Mage for the Paradox. And then I think I just fill out the rest of my deck with the Chafe that's left. And then I think we just move on to deck building from there. Just waiting for all my cards to show. So for the most part, we have most of our deck. I don't think I end up playing. We don't end up playing the Trumpet Blast. We have a very huge excess creatures. We have 21 creatures the way it is right now. But I'm just gonna let myself just sort it out. Arbor Elf obviously goes in. The Flint Hoof 4s. Naturalizes out. Titanic Growth, Double Courser. I play Double Force Mage because I don't want to play 3, even though I'm playing Double Paradox. I think we have better 3-drops. I don't want to overload. I play the Arsonist, Moth Monkeys, Krenko's Command, and Volcanic Edge. And that leaves us at 21 cards with 17 creatures, which is a huge amount. So the 2 cards that we want to put in are going to be spells, obviously. So what I end up doing is thinking about, okay, what are the spells that I could put in? Kindled Fury is one. It's a trick, even if it's a bad trick. And then the other pick is really between Trumpet Blast and Cleaver Riot. Trumpet Blast goes better in the tokens deck because you have 4 or 5 creatures. It's going to add 8 or 10 damage to your amount. In red-green, however, you're not going to have that many creatures out. You maybe have 3, so Trumpet Blast is only going to add 4 or 6 damage, I mean, depending on how many creatures you have out. It's not as overwhelming as Trumpet Blast. So I actually think Cleaver Riot was actually better here because, if you have a bunch of 3/3s, it's going to be better to give them double strike than just to give them +2/+0. So I actually put in the Cleaver Riot. I've actually lost to it a couple times because I wasn't expecting it, so maybe I was hoping to catch my opponents off guard. And I was thinking that, my creature base is definitely decent enough. I think that I can probably win with the way, instead of Trumpet Blast, I can put in the Cleaver Riot. And I have 2 bombs as well. So I put in the Cleaver Riot. I think my lands go 10-7 Forests, which is fine with me, even though I'm playing an Arbor Elf. I'm not going to drop down to 16. If I were playing 2, I would. But in any case, we put in the 10-7, and then we submit the deck the way that it was. So that was the draft. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in round 1.